Friends, last time we talked about finger dermatoglyphics on a lighter note, but an important point. People say that larger the number of whorls and composites, that shows that a person is Chakravarti. If you have 6 or more whorls and composites on your fingers. If that is the case, then a chimpanzee has 10. All the 10 whorls are there. So, but that leads to a very important point in evolutionary sequence, that whorls are the most primitive, least evolved patterns, and arches are the most evolved. Now coming to Palmar dermatoglyphics. Actually, we have fingers and palms and toes and soles, but most of the work has been done on fingers and palms. So we talk about finger dermatoglyphics and palmar dermatoglyphics. And just like we had triradii in loop and whorls and composites, similarly at the base of each finger we have a triradius. Only the specialist can realize. In general, you have to use a lens and in good light, preferably sunlight. In ordinary light, in light like this, you cannot. So you have triradius at the base of each finger. Let us say this is the simple diagram 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let us say this is the palm, and at the base of each finger you have a triradius, and you call them triradii A, B, C and D. 4 triradii on 4 fingers. Not necessarily all of them be there, but at least 3 are there always. And the ridges I told you in the last video, that minute lines which are there on our palms, fingers, toe and sole, we call them ridges. Ridges start from these triradii, traverse through different regions of the palm and terminate. Like this one terminated there, this one here and this one here. And the lines which start from the ridges which start, they form what we call main lines. You have main lines A, B, C, D. The triradius A, main line A, main line D from triradius D, main line B from triradius B, and main line C from triradius C. Then we divide palm into several regions. Region of the thumb is region 1. Then region of the wrist is region 2. Then from the base of the small finger till the bottom, we draw a horizontal line. This is not a vertical line, this is slightly diagonal, but straight line. Then midpoint of this between the two bisector is 3. Bisector is called 4. 4 is a point. Then upper part is 5. That is again divided into 5 dash and 5 double dash. Then small finger is 6, 7, ring finger is 8, 9, long finger is 10, index finger is 11, space is 11, index finger is 12 and space is 13. And on the basis of that, we have mainline formula. Mainline formula is given by the terminations of D, C, B and only DCB. Actually, D and A, they are independent. B and C are dependent on D. If D enters here, I told you ridges do not cut across each other. If D enters 9, then B and C, they cannot cut across, so they have to be within. If D enters at 9, then C has to be within. But then all that will be coming towards the lower points. If D enters 7, then C will be again further lower, lower and lower. And one can go up to here also, up to 1. One can go up to 5 dash, double dash, 5 dash, 4, 3 to here. There is a lot of variation is there in different people. On the basis of that, here the D is entering 11, C is entering 9, B is entering 7, and for A we have a dash. We are not including that. So mainline formula of this palm is 1197. Then we have a mainline index. Mainline index we gave a termination of A plus termination of D half. D can terminate from here to here only, and A can terminate from here to here only. So we give them separate numbering. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can put a circle here. And A can terminate from here to here. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. The score for A and D. So D is entering 11, the score is 6. A is entering 3 and score is also 3. So mainline index for this palm is 4.5. Easy, no serious formula involved. Fine. And besides that, we have ridge count in the part below the thumb. We call it thinner. The opposite side, we call it hypothinner. Means we have thinner ridge count also, and we have hypothinner ridge count also. That is the minimum when we use for racial classification. But as I told you in the last video, whether it is fingers or palms, intraracial variation is much more than the interracial variation. I told you the statement of UNESCO, differences between two individuals of same race are much more than the average difference between two races. That means even dermatoglyphics cannot be used for classifying races. So much about the racial criteria. Then on a lighter side again, if you are, some of you must be interested in palmistry, we will be talking about actually Down syndrome. In Down syndrome, we talk about 3 main lines which are there. You have proximal ridge and distal ridge, that way it is there. But in palmistry they are used. You have ring of Solomon, you have girdle of Venus, you have secondary health line, you have what you call fate line. A number of things are there. In this you have love lines. A number of them are there. But our job is to understand Down syndrome. Just like you have triradii here, A, B, C, D, you have similarly a triradius here at the base of the palm, and this is called triradius T at the base of the palm. Then an angle is formed that you call angle ATD, this angle. You have in Down syndrome, this T is placed quite high in the palm, so that the angle, this is called T dash, so that the angle ATD, this is at least 30% more than the normal ATD. in Down syndrome. Then another point is you have a proximal line. This is your normal one. You have a proximal line and a distal line. You call them line of brain line and heart line in palmistry. In the case of Down syndrome, both these creases are not there. Instead, there is a straight but disjointed line, and this is called simian crease. In future, the time may come when we may talk about syndromes, and we will talk about the details and the importance and what is done in genetic counseling and how gene therapy can help and all those things. But in terms of the objective was racial criteria, and we were to discuss Palmar. And in Palmar, you have mainline formula, mainline index, thinner ridge count, and thinner ridge count, and their criticism. Next video we will talk about how can we decide the best criteria for racial classification. Thank you.